Let me tell you something. Change is coming, and not just any change. The kind that shifts your soul, the kind that wakes you up in the morning with a fire in your chest. Some of you have been walking through storms, pushing through battles, carrying weights that weren't meant for you. But listen, life is about to turn in your favor. How do you know? Because there are signs. And when you see these signs, don't ignore them, embrace them. Listen to me. If you feel uncomfortable right now, good. That means something is happening inside you. That discomfort, that restlessness, that deep feeling in your gut that where you are isn't where you're supposed to stay. That's life pushing you. That's your spirit refusing to settle. Most people see discomfort as a bad thing. They think, why am I feeling this way? Why am I so uneasy? Why do I feel like I need more, like I need to move, to grow, to change? But what if I told you that feeling is the greatest gift you could ever receive? What if I told you that discomfort is the alarm clock of success? Because nothing great ever happens in comfort. Nothing. Look around. Every single person who ever changed their life had to first go through that unsettling feeling, that period where nothing made sense, where they weren't sure what was next. But instead of running from it, they leaned into it. They used that energy to push forward instead of staying stuck. And that's exactly what you have to do. Think about it. When you work out, when you push your body beyond its limits, what happens? Your muscles burn. Your heart pounds. It's uncomfortable. But you don't stop. You don't quit. Because you know that pain is proof that you're getting stronger. You know that discomfort is what transforms you. Life works the exact same way. The situations you're in, the pressure you feel, the frustration that keeps you up at night, it's not there to break you, it's there to build you. Too many people ignore the signs. They feel uncomfortable, and instead of using it as fuel, they numb themselves. They distract themselves, they stay busy with things that don't matter, hanging around people who keep them stuck, doing things that kill their potential. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Listen, if you feel uncomfortable, pay attention. That feeling is your wake-up call. That's your sign that you were made for something more. And let's be real. Comfort zones, they're dangerous. They're silent dream killers. They feel good in the moment, but they keep you in places you've outgrown. They keep you in jobs that drain you, in relationships that don't serve you, in habits that steal your greatness. And if you're not careful, comfort will have you waking up one day realizing you wasted years settling for less than you were capable of. So here's what you do. You use it. You embrace the discomfort. You recognize it for what it is, a signal that it's time to move, to grow, to elevate. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect time because there is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. The second you feel that discomfort creeping in, take action. Learn something new, take a risk, change your environment, do something that challenges you. Because every single time you push through discomfort, you level up. You want a better life, a stronger mindset, more success? Then get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the moment you start leaning into the struggle instead of running from it, that's when everything shifts. That's when life starts opening doors you never even knew existed. And when that moment comes, when you finally step into the life you were meant for, you'll look back and realize that every ounce of discomfort was worth it. Not everyone can go where you're going. Read that again. Let it sink in. Because the truth is, when you start growing, when you start changing, when you start becoming, some people will fall away. And that's not a bad thing. That's life making room. That's destiny clearing the path. Too many people hold on to relationships, friendships, and connections that have expired. They try to drag people into their future who were only meant to be part of their past. And then they wonder why they feel heavy, why they feel drained, why it feels like every step forward takes so much effort. It's because they're carrying dead weight. Some people were only meant to be in a few chapters of your story, not the whole book. And when their part in your journey is done, you have to let them go. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate what they once were to you. It just means they can't go where you're headed. They don't have the same vision. They don't have the same hunger. They don't see what you see, and if you keep them close, they'll hold you back. And listen, when you start elevating, some people will start acting different. They'll get distant. They'll stop calling. They'll start talking about you instead of to you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. You becoming better forces them to confront their own excuses, and most people don't want to do that. It's easier for them to resent you than to change themselves. You've got to learn to recognize when a relationship has run its course. Some people are seasonal, meant to teach you something, meant to help you at a certain stage, but not meant to go the whole way. And if you try to keep them longer than they are meant to stay, they will block your blessings. They will slow you down. Think about an elevator. Every elevator has a weight limit. If you try to bring too many people, that elevator won't move. You can stand there pressing the button waiting to go up, but it won't budge until you let some people off. That's life. Some of you have been standing in the same spot, wondering why you aren't rising, why you aren't moving forward. It's because you've got too much weight. It's time to let some people off your elevator. And here's the thing. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to wish them harm. You just have to keep moving. Some people will get mad. Some people will call you different. Some people will say you've changed. Good. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve. Staying the same is not the goal. You can't fly if you're chained to the ground. You can't soar if you're constantly looking back, trying to hold on to people who don't want to rise with you. So if people are fading from your life, if relationships are ending, if circles are getting smaller, don't fight it. It means you're leveling up. It means you're making space. And what's ahead of you is far greater than anything you're leaving behind. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. That dream, that goal, that opportunity sitting in front of you, the one that makes your heart race, the one that makes you question if you're good enough, ready enough, smart enough, that's the one you need to go after. That fear, that doubt, that voice in your head telling you, what if I fail? Most people run from fear. They let it stop them. They let it talk them out of their blessings. But the ones who win, the ones who rise, who succeed, who change their lives, are the ones who feel fear and move anyway. They understand that fear is just proof that they're stepping into something bigger than they've ever done before. You have to understand something. Fear is not a wall, it's a doorway. And on the other side of that doorway is the life you've been dreaming of. But most people will never see it because they stop at the threshold. They see the door, they see the unknown, and they turn around. They convince themselves it's not the right time, that they need more preparation, that they need someone to validate them before they move. No, you don't need permission to step into your destiny. You just need courage. Think about this. Every great person you admire, every successful individual who changed the game had to face the moment. That moment where they had to decide whether to stay where it was safe or step into something uncertain. And I guarantee you, every single one of them was scared. Every single one. The difference is they didn't let fear win. They didn't let doubt steal their future. Because let's be real. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting your whole life. If you wait until every detail's perfect, every step is clear, every outcome is guaranteed, you will never move. That's not how life works. Growth happens in motion, not in hesitation. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. The second you start moving, the second you take that leap, everything shifts. You ever notice how things start aligning the moment you finally commit? The moment you stop second-guessing yourself and just go for it, doors start opening. People start showing up. Opportunities you never even saw before suddenly appear. That's not a coincidence. That's the universe responding to your faith. Because when you move like you believe in yourself, life has no choice but to believe in you too. But hear me, fear is never going to disappear. It doesn't matter how much you achieve, how much success you gain, how much experience you get. Every new level will bring a new challenge, a new unknown, a new fear. And that's a good thing. That means you're still growing. That means you're still pushing yourself beyond your limits. The goal is not to be fearless. The goal is to feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then do it anyway. So if something in your life is scaring you right now, if there's an opportunity in front of you that makes you nervous, that makes you wonder, can I really do this? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you're ready. Yes, you have what it takes. And the only thing standing between you and that next level is the decision to go for it. The moment you stop letting fear control you, the moment you step into the unknown with faith, that's the moment your life changes forever. Life will test you before it blesses you. It will push you, break you, make you question everything, and right when you think you've had enough, it'll hit you again. Not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants to see if you're ready. You ask for success, but do you have the discipline to handle it? You ask for a breakthrough, but do you have the patience to wait for it? You ask for more, but are you strong enough to hold it when it comes? Everybody wants the reward, but not everybody is willing to go through the fire to earn it. But hear this, the fire isn't there to burn you, it's there to forge you. Look at your struggles right now. Look at the obstacles in your way, the challenges that keep showing up. These are not random, these are your tests. And until you pass them, life will keep bringing them back again and again until you finally get it. Some people spend years fighting the same battles, going through the same cycles because they refuse to learn. But the ones who rise, they face those tests head on. They don't complain, they don't make excuses, they don't ask, why me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because they understand that every struggle is preparing them for what they asked for. You don't become strong by avoiding hardship. You don't become wise by running from problems. And you don't become successful by quitting every time things get hard. Look at anybody who has ever achieved greatness, any athlete, any entrepreneur, any artist, any leader. Every single one of them has been tested. Every single one of them has had moments where they could have given up, where they could have said, maybe this isn't for me, but they didn't. And that's why they made it. You are not being tested to fail. You are being tested to grow. The struggle is not there to stop you. It's there to sharpen you, to refine you, to make sure that when your moment comes, you're ready. Because success is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about preparation. And that preparation happens in the struggle. Some of you right now are one test away from your breakthrough. One challenge, one obstacle, one battle away from stepping into everything you've been working for. And the only question is, will you push through? Will you keep going even when it's hard? Will you trust the process even when you can't see the outcome? Or will you let the pressure break you? Because here's the truth. The ones who quit never know how close they were. They never know that if they had just held on a little longer, if they had just kept pushing one more time, everything would have shifted. And that's why you can't stop now. You've come too far, you've fought too hard, and this test, this moment, this challenge in front of you right now, it's not the end, it's the beginning. So don't run from the test, don't back down, stand up, face it, and conquer it. Because the moment you prove you're ready, the moment you show life that you won't break under pressure, that's when everything changes. That's when doors open. That's when the blessing comes. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that every test was worth it. You can't step into your future while holding on to your past. You can't grab what's ahead if your hands are full of everything that's behind you. And yet so many people try. They hold on to old pain, old mistakes, old versions of themselves that no longer serve them. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. Listen to me. Letting go is not losing. It's winning. It's freeing yourself from the chains that keep you bound. It's making space for something greater. But most people don't see it that way. They stay attached to things that have already ended, relationships that have already run their course, situations that no longer bring them growth. They think that holding on somehow keeps them safe, but all it does is keep them stagnant. You have to be willing to let go of what is weighing you down. Some of you are carrying unforgiveness, holding on to things people did years ago. And it's not hurting them, it's hurting you. It's stealing your peace, your energy, your ability to move forward. Forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about saying, I refuse to let this control me anymore. It's about cutting the cord so you can finally breathe again. And let's talk about those past failures. The ones that haunt you. The ones that whisper, you're not good enough. Every time you try to move forward, you have to let them go. Failure is not a life sentence. It's a lesson. It's a redirection. It happened to teach you something, not to define you. The only way failure can hold you back is if you let it. But if you take what you've learned and apply it, that failure becomes the very thing that launches you forward. Some of you need to let go of people. You're holding on to friendships, relationships, circles that no longer align with who you're becoming, and you know it. You feel it. You sense that certain people no longer fit into your future, yet you keep trying to force it. But listen, not everyone is meant to go with you, and that's okay. Some people were only meant to be part of your journey for a season. When that season ends, let them go. Holding on to the wrong people will only slow you down. And then there's the hardest thing to let go of. The old you, the version of yourself that played small, the one that settled, the one that stayed quiet when they should have spoken up, the one that lived in fear instead of faith. That version of you served a purpose, but it can't go where you're headed. You have to be willing to step into the stronger, bolder, wiser version of yourself. That means letting go of old habits, old mindsets, old ways of thinking that no longer align with your vision. Letting go is not weakness. It's power. It's choosing yourself, choosing your growth, choosing your future over your past. It's understanding that you can't control everything, but you can control what you hold on to. And if it's not helping you, if it's not elevating you, if it's not bringing you peace, it's time to release it. Because the moment you do, the moment you finally make space, you'll realize that what's ahead of you is so much greater than what you left behind. There is a moment in life when everything changes, and that moment, it's not when the opportunity comes, it's not when the breakthrough happens, it's when you finally look in the mirror and believe in yourself again. That's the moment everything shifts. That's the moment doors start opening, not because the world changed, but because you did. See, the problem is never the world. The problem is never the lack of opportunities, the lack of chances, the lack of resources. The real battle is the one happening inside you. The voice that tells you, maybe I'm not good enough. The doubts that whisper, what if I fail? The fear that makes you hesitate when you should be moving forward. That's what's been holding you back, not your circumstances, not your past, not what people said about you. And here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistake. You are not your failures. Whatever happened, whatever you've been through, whatever moments in life made you question your own worth, it's time to let that go. It's time to take back your power. Because the second you start believing that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you have everything it takes to step into the life you've been dreaming of, that's when things start changing. Think about it. Every great success story, every person who has risen from nothing to greatness has one thing in common. They believed in themselves when no one else did. When the world doubted them, when people walked away, when they failed and fell and had every reason to quit, they kept going. Not because they had all the answers, not because they had a guarantee, but because something inside them said, I refuse to give up on me. And that's where you have to be. That's the mindset you have to adopt. Because let me tell you something. If you don't believe in you, why should anyone else? If you don't walk with confidence, if you don't move like you belong, if you don't carry yourself like you are destined for more, then guess what? The world will treat you like you don't matter. But the second you shift, the second you own who you are, that's when life starts shifting with you. You think the world is waiting to hand you success? No, the world is waiting for you to claim it. The world is waiting for you to step up, to rise up, to walk like you deserve the things you've been dreaming of. And when you finally do that, when you finally look at yourself and say, I am ready, I am enough, I am powerful, that's when everything around you starts to reflect that truth. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop looking for permission. You don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need anyone to tell you it's your time. It's your time the moment you decide it is, the moment you stop second-guessing yourself, the moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions, the moment you stop apologizing for wanting more. Because the reality is, life will give you exactly what you demand from it. If you keep playing small, life will keep giving you small. But if you stand up, if you believe in yourself with unshakable confidence, if you move like a person who already knows they're destined for greatness, life has no choice but to meet you at that level. So don't wait for someone to hand you a crown. Put it on yourself. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're ready. Walk like you already are. Because the day you start believing in yourself again, that's the day you become unstoppable.